Hey, happy Sunday. I have to say I am in a much better mood today. I am feeling much better than I was last Sunday. I'm feeling really good. Um, I'm not dressed like this because it's hot outside. Uh, I'm a little warm. I did the same class today that I did last Sunday. It was a hell of a lot easier today. I did not feel like I was trying to move underwater. Actually, this class was kind of easy, shockingly, and it went by really fast too. I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't even realize it was time for it to be over, and I'm like, damn, it's 2:30. I don't believe it. So anyway, I'm feeling a whole lot better than I was a week ago. I'm doing really well today. We are on our way to Aldi. I need to get some groceries, so I'm headed up that way. I figured in the meantime I would tell you that I have several Odysseys going on right now. First of all, I want to just say, I realize it seems like all I ever do is complain. I get that. I can see where you would look at it that way. But it just so happens that I seem to just have these long parades of crap that just run through my life sometimes, and it's like they won't end. It's like the never-ending parade of irritating, unnecessarily complicated things that just won't, I don't know, like things that should be simple end up taking months, and they just turn into this big mess, and I just end up complaining. And it is, I do believe I have come to terms with the fact that it is just part of my nature to complain. I do. I love my dad, but he's kind of that way too. He seems happier when he has something to complain about, and I'm saying I'm the same way. You know, I think I like a challenge. I think it gives my brain something to work on or something to talk about anyway. I have right now 3 separate sagas going on in my life that should not be. They shouldn't be. These are 3 things that should be very simple, and that's part of what irritates me about them. All 3 of these things should be very simple to correct or do, but no. My door, the front door and storm door, that is still ongoing. That is not done. They've ordered some sort of door facing for the door, and it hasn't come in. I started this process back in August of last year. All I wanted was a new storm door and a front door, and redo the door frame and threshold and all that. We're not done. That's why I haven't given you an update on the door, because it's not over yet. No, it's not over because apparently, okay, here's what I think happened. I think they were, and this happened one other time with this company, they were supposed to reorder my storm door because initially they ordered the wrong size door. Like, it was way off. And I called them and called them and called them. I think they forgot to order it. Frankly, I think they forgot. Or it came in and they just didn't bother to do anything about it, because it just so happens I waited like a month and didn't bother them, or at least 3 weeks. And then, wouldn't you know, what a coincidence, the day that I called to check on it, that's the day that it just happened to come in. Oh, it just arrived. I'm so glad you called. It just arrived. Like, yeah, bullshit, it just arrived. It's probably been sitting there for a week. Well, they got the front door in and the storm door, but I'm still waiting for the door facings or something. There's some part of this whole thing that's not done. And I'm starting to wonder if they even ordered it, because this has been going on now since January, and it's almost April. Like, I understand there are shortages of things, but does it really take that long for whatever you are talking about to come in? I mean, I just don't know. Maybe so. Maybe it has to come from Jupiter or something, and, Battlestar Galactica is tied up in another dimension right now in the middle of an interstellar war, and they are not available to transport it here to Earth. I don't know. Last time I heard from them was over a month ago. And the guy I've been talking to, they're trying to deal with this whole thing, sent me an email just saying, we haven't forgotten about you. We've ordered the part or the thing, and it hasn't come. Just letting you know. That's the last I heard. And I've just given up calling them. I've given up. Like, it's never going to be completed. I got gouged. I got ripped off. I paid a lot of money for a shitty experience and a door that I'm not terribly happy with, and it's just left a bad taste in my mouth for the whole damn thing. I just don't care anymore. Like, whatever. If it comes in, great. If it doesn't, I'm just at the point where I give up. I give up. You know, whatever. I haven't even thought about it. So, okay, so there's that saga. The other one is my siding. Yes, I thought that would be simple. Let me tell you what's happening with that. All right, the siding was supposed to be, they drop ship it to your house. So this giant flatbed truck is supposed to pull up, and they're going to leave it at your house. Okay, it's a lot of siding. It is a lot of stuff. Well, they were supposed to arrive last Tuesday. Nobody came, nobody called, nobody told me anything. And the installers were going to arrive on Wednesday to install it. I thought, oh, dropped off Tuesday, installed Wednesday. That sounds great. I should have known. I was guardedly optimistic. I should have known not to get my hopes up and think this would actually happen. Because it didn't. It didn't. Tuesday came and went. Nothing was delivered. Nobody called me. Nobody said anything. Wednesday came and went. No installers came by. Nobody called me. Nobody said anything. But on Wednesday afternoon, a flatbed truck pulled up in front of my house, and this guy got his forklift off the back of the truck, and I had to move my car. And he puts this massive, massive pallet of siding and stuff in my driveway. So I now have this huge pallet of stuff in my driveway, and it's taking up a big chunk of my driveway. And I asked him, I said, well, you probably don't know, but do you know what's going on with the installers? He said, ma'am, I don't actually work for that company. I work for the shipping company. I don't know anything about your installation. I said, well, I figured probably not. So he didn't. So then I called the company Wednesday afternoon, and I couldn't get anybody on the phone. I left him a message like, well, the stuff was delivered, but nobody's installing anything. What's going on? No call back. Okay, Thursday, I was gone most of the day, and when I got home, somebody had cut the straps off the pallet, the stack of stuff. Somebody had cut the straps off, pulled a big ass heavy box of siding off onto the driveway, like just yanked it down, and it's sitting on the driveway now, and taken some of the smaller boxes and placed them on top of the little boxes of like screws and little parts and pieces that go along with this project. Like, just laid it on top of it and just crushed the boxes. So fortunately, since I have security cameras all around my house and in my house, I was able to go back and look at the footage and see, like, who did this, because nobody was home. There was no note on the door. There was nothing. I looked on the security footage. I ran it back, and you could see plain as day, this guy in a truck backs into my driveway, gets out, he's walking around the pallet looking at it, pulls out a knife, cuts the straps off the pallet, then he's looking at it, he ripped one of the boxes open, he's looking in it, he takes another one of the boxes and just like shoves it off the stack onto my driveway, just like, and it's just bam, it just hit the driveway. Like, what was he doing? And his shirt didn't have anything on it. He had on like a plain t-shirt and shorts. There was no name of a business. The truck had no name on it. I think, and this was in broad daylight. This was at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a busy street with a lot of people on it. Broad ass daylight. And he went around and around. He looked through the little boxes, and he opened up some of the little boxes, was looking through them, and then he just got in his truck and left. I think it was somebody looking for something to take. Well, anyway, now the pallet straps are cut off. I got a big box on the ground. There's a smaller box of some of the siding just sitting on top of the little boxes. They're crushed. I'm not touching it. I went all the way around it, and fortunately, Thursday morning before I left, I made a little video, because I like to do a before and after of the projects I do, and I just happened to go around and get a video of the back of the house, and I went all the way around the pallet, and I show what it looked like before this happened. So I actually have proof that when it was delivered and when it was at my house, it did not look like that. It wasn't cut open and boxes on the ground and boxes crushed. So as soon as I realized somebody had messed with it, I called the company and I said, I told them what happened. Like, some guy came into my yard today and messed with the pallet of stuff that y'all had delivered here. Was that one of your employees? Like, and the guy didn't leave a note. Nobody called me. Nobody said anything. So according to the company, they don't know anything about it. They said that wasn't one of our employees. No, none of our employees have been to your house yet. And I said, well, what happened to the installation that was supposed to happen? How come that didn't happen? And he goes, oh, well, yeah, there was a guy that was working here doing scheduling, and he is no longer with the company. It looks like he communicated to you the date, but he didn't bother to tell the installers the date, so they were not aware that they were supposed to come to your house. I said, okay, so what now? He said, well, the soonest I can get them back out there is next week. I said, so this huge pallet of stuff is just going to sit in my driveway for another week? He said, yes, ma'am, I'm sorry about that. I said, okay, but I'm going to let you know now, if anybody comes and messes with it, I am not going to be held responsible for it. Because whoever that guy was could come back. I don't know. I don't know who he was. I don't know why he did that. And hopefully he won't come back, but I'm letting you know now, there is somebody that came out here and messed with it when I was not home on Thursday. And they said, well, hopefully he won't come back. I'm like, yeah, I'm letting you know now, though. But I have a feeling if somebody comes back and messes with my stuff again, they're going to try to hold me responsible, or my homeowner's insurance or something. Like, no, y'all have insurance for shit like that. And if you don't, it's not my fault you delivered it here. I didn't ask for this situation. Anyway, hopefully within the week, they'll come install it. I have a feeling we're not done, though. It's never over. It's never done. It's never, ever done. It's never done. I have only had one project at my house that went off without a hitch. Only one. And that was when I had my bathtub and shower, my tub resurfaced. That project went off without a hitch. It went exactly like it was supposed to. It's beautiful. I'm happy with it. That's the only one. Every other project has been a cluster. Every other one. Oh, so yeah. So my siding has not been installed yet. It's sitting in my driveway on a giant pallet, taking up my driveway. And somebody went through it. So in the box that the guy pulled off on the ground, I couldn't lift it even if I wanted to. The damn thing probably weighs 300 pounds. I mean, it's a super long, super heavy box. And I'm not going to move it anyway, because if it's damaged, they're going to say, well, you probably damaged it trying to move it. I'm going to leave it right where it is. It can sit right where it is. I'm not moving it. And the boxes are ripped open, so I'm thinking, well, we're supposed to get rain within the next week. So if it gets rained on and damaged, don't look at me. Don't look at me, because y'all are the ones that had it delivered and can't get your shit together enough to get somebody out here to put it in. I'm sorry that you have an incompetent employee, but that is not my fault. So there's that. I have to tell you about my Odyssey with an app. I got that going on too. This has nothing to do with home improvement. Okay. My younger son rides the bus. He's been riding the bus. This is his second year riding the bus. Okay? Nope, nothing's changed. The bus stop is the same. And there's an app that you can get. It's called Here Comes the Bus. This app has one job. This app exists for one reason. To let you know when your kid's bus is coming. That's it. That's all it does. That does nothing else. Okay? I have this app. So what you do, you download the app, and you have a code that you put in for your kid's school, and you have to have your kid's student ID number. You put all that in, and it will tell you, okay, well, we have you living here. Here's your radius. And it will let you know when the bus is near, like within 10 minutes, or when it comes into your little radius. And you can make the radius larger or smaller if you want to know when it's, within 10 minutes, whatever. You can change the radius. It's actually, when it works, it's pretty handy, especially if your kid's route is like my son's, where theoretically Well, in theory, it's supposed to arrive at a certain time every morning, but it doesn't. The window of time it's about 30 minutes, literally. There's about a 30-minute span in which it could come. So it's good to have this app so you'll know, oh, it's early today or it's running late. You don't need to go out there yet, especially when it's pouring down rain and stuff, because his bus stop is not right in front of the house. He actually has to go to a totally different street to go get on the bus. That's where his stop is. So he has to go up and around to a different street with some other kids to get on the bus. Okay, so it was actually really useful, so that way if it was running late, he didn't have to go out there and stand in the rain for 20 minutes or whatever. Well, one day, about a month and a half, well, that's almost a month and a half ago now, it just stopped working one day. It just stopped working, like completely. It had us living actually just outside of Greensboro. It said our house was like outside of Greensboro. And I'm looking at the app like, no, that's incorrect. That is incorrect as hell. And there was no radius. We received no further notifications. According to this app, my son doesn't exist anymore, and we don't even live in Greensboro anymore. It's just the app just went haywire. I don't know what happened. I thought, oh, that's weird. I better figure out what's up with that. Okay, now there are 3 parties involved in this mess. 3 different parties are involved. I have to let you know the 3 parties before we go any further. You have, okay, our county has a transportation department for the schools. The schools have a transportation department, and anytime you have a problem with your kids' bus route or whatever, you're supposed to call the transportation department. They also have a transportation supervisor at every school. So there is a person at every school who also has something to do with transportation. Why we have both of these things, I don't know. Talk about a duplication of effort. A lot of government operated facilities, they just ran that red light. They got tired of waiting. They just went, yeah, I'm not going to sit here anymore. Damn. That's crazy. It just took off. Just whoop. Anyway, so you have, government agencies have a lot of people who seem to all do the same job. Although they all have the same title, but nobody actually does anything, it seems like. Because everybody you talk to tells you have to talk to somebody else. That's been my experience anyway. That's my experience with the patent office as well. It's the same thing. I don't think anybody actually does anything other than forward you to other people who also don't do anything. My tax dollars at work. So you have the transportation department. You have the school's transportation director, or I don't know what the hell their title is. Each school has a transportation person. And then there are the administrators of the Here Comes the Bus app. All 3 of these places, entities, whatever, are involved in this. Okay, so the app stops working. I call the transportation department. Hey, I have the Here Comes the Bus app. It stopped working. What do you mean it stopped working? I mean, it's busted. Like, it doesn't say, it says we live outside of Greensboro. I receive no notifications from my son anymore. It's not working. Well, we're not in charge of that. You're going to have to file a request with the app people. The app people. They just call them app people. Okay. So finding out how to do this with the app is damn near impossible. You go to the app and there's nowhere on there to contact anyone. There's just not. I had to go through a lot of trouble to figure out how to contact the administrators or the IT people or whatever for this app. Finally, I got an email address for somebody who works with the app. I emailed this guy, hey, my app stopped working. What do you mean it stopped working? He was very rude. I said, well, it was working fine up until about a week ago, and then it stopped sending me notifications about my son's bus stop. Oh, we can't help you with that. You need to talk to transportation. Well, I just talked to transportation. They told me to talk to you. Well, they shouldn't have said that because we can't help you. You're going to need to talk to transportation again. I can't do anything for you. Okay. So I called transportation again, tell them what the Here Comes the Bus app people said. They said, well, I don't know why they said that. I said, how about this? How about you talk to the Here Comes the Bus app people? Oh, we don't do that. We don't communicate directly with them. Why not? Because that's not our job. Our job is to make sure that your child has transportation. It is not our job to make sure the app works. But y'all are the one who told me to get the app. Right. But it's not our job to make sure it works. Okay. And then the transportation people advised me to talk to the transportation director at the school. Okay. So I talked to the transportation director at the school. They said basically the same thing. Why are you calling me? I can't help you. You need to talk to transportation about that. I did. They told me to call you. Well, they shouldn't have told you to call me. I can't do anything. So I went, okay, long story short, over about a month, I went around and around and around with the transportation director, transportation department, and the Here Comes the Bus app people. I finally got a phone number, a 1-800 number for the app, which I didn't think you could actually do, but there's a phone number, and I got it. I got the phone number, and I called, and I had to talk to the same rude guy who was emailing me. And he said, yeah, I remember you. Have you not resolved this yet? I said, no, I haven't. And he said, okay, I will communicate with transportation and I will get this resolved for you since you can't do it. I said, thank you very much. So I waited a week. The app is still not working. So, and nobody's talking to me. So I call the 1-800 number again for the app. And the guy has amnesia now. I talked to the same guy. He says, I don't know what you're talking about, ma'am. I don't recall speaking with you. I never said I was going to call anybody. What's your problem again? So I've had to restate this problem so many times. He said, oh yeah, you need to talk to transportation. See, the thing is, there is information about your child that they have to enter into our system. We cannot do it. I cannot get the information from you. They have to do it through the transportation department for your county. They are the ones who have to enter the information. The information goes into the app. I said, but it was working all year. Yes, ma'am. So why is it not working now? Well, I don't know. That's what we're trying to resolve. It was there. It's been working all year with no problem. Right. But why is it not working now? I don't know. This app, how do you not know? How do you not know that? Like, nobody knows anything. Nobody can do anything other than tell me to talk to somebody else. This is now my 6th week of trying to deal with this. I had the most infuriating phone call yet on Thursday afternoon. And this was right after I found out somebody had messed with that pallet of stuff at my house. So I was already not in a great mood. So I called transportation again because I have been told to call them again. Like, why bother? Why bother calling them? It's not like it's going to do anything. Okay, this was the most infuriating phone call with any of these people yet. Oh, there's nowhere good to park. Hang on a second, I'm trying to get parked. This was the most infuriating call yet. So I talked to this lady with transportation. And again, she claims she doesn't know anything about my problem. Can you explain to me exactly what is wrong? What is wrong? What's your problem? I said, okay. I can't get my app to work, and I never know when my son's bus is coming, so he has to go out there early every morning, and sometimes he has to stand out there for a half hour waiting for the bus. Oh, and she goes, did you recently move? I said, no, I didn't. She goes, well, I don't really understand what you're saying your problem is. Are you saying that your son's bus isn't coming? I said, no, it comes, but we just never know when it's coming. And the app is not working to tell me. She goes, oh, did your son transfer to another school? I said, no. Have you had a change of any in any living arrangements for your child? I said, no. Everything has been exactly the same all year. Oh, okay. So you're saying that something's wrong. Something's incorrect? I said, yes, ma'am, that's what I'm saying. She goes, oh, let me tell you. And you might have heard about this at orientation when the school year began. We have this app that is perfect for this situation. It's called the Here Comes the Bus app. And all you have to do is download the app, and it will tell you, and you put in your child's information, and it will tell you when the bus is coming. So you need the information for the app. And I was driving down the road. I damn near threw my phone out the window. I was so angry at this point. Like, ma'am, that is what I'm telling you is the problem. Is I have the app. I have had it all year. Oh, you have the app? Well, you can just use the app to tell when your son's bus is coming. You don't need to call us. It was all I had in me to keep from screaming at this woman. It was all I had in me to keep calm. I said, ma'am, let me start over. I've had the app all year. It's worked all year up until about 5 weeks ago. This was last week. And suddenly it just stopped working. I've talked to y'all. I've talked to the school. I've talked to the people with the app. Everybody tells me that I need to talk to somebody else and they can't fix it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, so maybe you could uninstall the app and reinstall it. I said, ma'am, I have done that now 5 times. I have uninstalled and reinstalled that app once a week for 5 weeks. It makes no difference at all. It doesn't fix anything. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, probably what you need to do is talk to the people with the app. They could probably help. And I felt like we were speaking 2 different languages. Like, ma'am, I've already told you, I've talked to them. I've talked to y'all. I've talked to them. I've talked to the school's transportation person. Everybody. And apparently none of y'all can help me. Apparently this problem just can't be fixed. Like, you can't get there from here. You just can't. It's just unfixable. Because that's the conclusion I've come to, is this just is not fixable. And she said, well, I'm sorry to hear that, ma'am. And she sat there for a minute and didn't say anything. She said, is there anything else I can help you with today? I said, well, clearly not, because you can't help me with this and nobody else can either. So I guess we're done. You can't help me with anything today. She said, okay, thank you very much for calling transportation, ma'am. I hope you have a lovely day. And then she hung up. That was it. So I guess this is just unfixable. It seems to me that it would be a simple thing to fix. I mean, maybe I'm ignorant, but it seems like there's a simple solution to this problem, but no one knows what it is. Or everyone is just convinced that they are not the ones who can solve it. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to any other parents to see if I'm the only one having this problem. I don't know. But yeah, so I have no idea every day when my son's bus is coming, and apparently that's just never going to change. So I have too many unsolved mysteries in my life right now, and too many pending things. I have too many other shoes that I'm waiting for, waiting for them to drop. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So that was my saga with the app that I guess just is not fixable. We can't fix this problem. There's no fixing it. I don't know why. But that is all I have to say for today. Although my older son and I have figured something out. I'm going to end this on a non-bitchy note. I'm not going to complain anymore. A lot of people are bothered by me complaining. I think it makes them uncomfortable. Like that maybe they have unresolved issues with their mom or something, and maybe all she did was complain, and it just makes them uncomfortable for a woman to complain. I don't really know. But I will end this on a funny note. Okay, now y'all know Pumpkin, my cat that tried really hard to be Siamese. She's a sweet little cat. She's a little weird though. She's paranoid and she's terrified of everything. And we've had her since she was a tiny kitten. She's never been abused. She's never been traumatized. We've never hurt her in any way. She's had a very quiet, peaceful, spoiled, rotten life. But loud noises startle her. She has to check your ID. Every time you go to pet her, she has to smell your hand like, okay. And then it's like she will go, okay, now you can pet me. She always has to check your ID before you pet her. If you make a loud noise, she just, ah, and she just runs away. Every little sound or sudden movement, ah, all the time. She's just scared all the time. And her pupils are always huge because she's just freaked out all the time. She's very high strung. She's also very needy, but she's very needy, but she's very picky at the same time. Typical woman, you know, like I can hear that now. Typical woman, very needy, but very picky. I need you to pet me all day, but I need you to do it exactly right. And if you don't do it exactly right, I will get disgusted and leave the room. So she likes to be petted all day, but you have to do it just right. You have to do it just her way. And her way is you have to lay on my bed with your right arm like this, kind of in a 90-degree angle, right? And she'll lay down right here, kind of in your armpit, sort of. She lays down with her head like right here. And then you have to take this hand and lay it on her, and then take this hand and pet her right here. You cannot play with your phone. You cannot talk to anyone. You can't sneeze or cough or move. She'll get pissed if you do. If you do that, she'll get mad. So you have to do this right here indefinitely, like forever. You cannot get up. You cannot ever do anything else. This is all you can do right here. And that's the only way she's happy. So I was talking to my older son about it. It was so funny because I opened my door this morning and Pumpkin was sitting right outside of my door. And just the sound of me opening the door freaked her out and she ran away. And I said, what? And my son was coming out of his room at the same time. And I said, what is her deal? I swear, she's paranoid. And all she ever wants to do is eat and sleep. That's all she ever wants to do is sleep and then eat. He said she's like a stoner. And we have decided that Pumpkin, here's Pumpkin's deal, and it describes her perfectly. I said, you know what it is? She was a stoner in her former life, and then she got run over by a Volkswagen bus on like Santa Monica Boulevard in the 60s, and now she's come back as a cat. That's her. She was a stoner, and she had a bad acid trip, and it left her like permanently paranoid. So now every sound freaks her out. That's what's wrong with her. She was a stoner who died and had a bad trip at one point, or did some LSD that messed them up, and now their brain is just scrambled and they're freaked out by everything now. We have decided that is why Pumpkin is the way she was, that she is living a new life after being a paranoid stoner. It makes perfect sense. I said, that would actually explain a lot about her behavior right there. That must be what happened. Otherwise, I don't know. So, yeah, at least we were able to diagnose the cat's problems. And but other than that, yeah, got a lot of pending stuff in my life that I can't seem to resolve no matter what I do. And I, like with the front door, I'm like, you know what, whatever, I don't know. Whenever this part comes in, I want to have one final conversation with the guy, with the who are they? I can't even remember the name of the damn company. Window World of the Triad. And I have never called out a company by name, but my experience with them has been so god-awful, I'm calling them out by name. I want to have one final conversation with the guy there that I've been dealing with, and I just want to ask him, I want to go through the list of everything that has happened since I started this process in August. I want to go through everything that has happened and go, now, do you think that was worth $4,600? Would you pay $4,600 to have this kind of an experience with any company? Do you think that's worth $4,600? Or do you think I got ripped off? What do you think? And I'm just curious to see what his answer is, but I'm not going to ask him that until it's all over with. And then I'm going to ask him that question, and I will let you know what he says. If he says anything, I'll let you know exactly what he says. Because I'm just beyond fed up with them at this point. I'm so fed up, I'm just like, whatever. I'm still mad about it, but like, I can't invest a lot of anger and energy in it anymore. It's been going on for so long. I don't know. I don't have the emotional bandwidth to worry about it every day anymore. So anyway, I hope you're having a good Sunday. It's pretty here, but it's cold outside. It's cold and it's windy, and I'm gonna have to put I've got this jacket, and then I've got I may put this one on. This one's warmer. It's like a plush jacket. I may put that on before I go into Aldi and get my groceries. But yeah, it's a pretty day. It's just not, I'd like it if it were a little warmer, but it is supposed to warm up this week. So, you know, okay. Yeah, it'll get better. So, yeah, I hope you have a great Sunday, and I will see you again really soon.